Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to what I promise you is going to be the most valuable piece of content that you ever consume. Over the next few hours, I am going to be giving you the most valuable, actionable, implementable information that I possibly can. This is going to be every single thing that I have learned over the last 3 years in order to scale myself to $100,000 a month, so that by the end of this video, you can replicate my exact success so that you can transform your life just like I did. But here is the best part. I'm not going to just show you exactly how to do it, but I'm going to share with you all the mistakes I made so that you can do this even faster and even better than I have done. I am making this video with one purpose: to transform your life. If you do not want to do that, if you do not want to change, if you do not want to unlock a completely new version of reality, then this video is not for you. Now, I need you to like, subscribe to my channel, and I need you to save this video because you're going to have to refer back to it multiple times, as there is multiple steps to this process. I highly suggest that you put your phone away, turn it off, get a pen and paper, and take notes on this to make sure that you're actually digesting and remembering the information that I'm giving you. Over the next few hours, I am not going to show you just one money making method, but I'm going to be giving you over 5 different ways that you can make money based on whether or not you want to show your face, based on whether you want to take calls or post content. Whatever it is that you want to do, I'm going to give you an option to make money with that today. Now, like I said, I promise you that if you watch this video in its entirety and you actually take action on the steps, that your entire life will transform. If you're not wanting to do that, click away now. If you are, let's work. As you can see here in my Stan Store dashboard, I've collected over $160,000 in the last month. And in my Stripe dashboard, I've also collected a bunch of money. Now, because over my journey, I've used quite a few different payment processes, you only see different bits and pieces. You only see a few $100,000 in each. However, I've made over $500,000 profit total, and I've collected over $1 million cash. And I want to start this entire free course off by sharing with you my journey and letting you know who I am, so that you actually understand why you're listening to me in the first place. So in order to take you all the way back, this whole thing started when I was working a construction job. Just 2 years ago, I would wake up every day with no purpose, no intention, no meaning, and no money. I would work all day, shoveling, putting in suspended ceilings, working in a factory for barely enough money to live off. I remember I would eat $5 Domino's pizzas because that was literally all that I could afford. Just recently, I was awarded this plaque for collecting over $100,000 cash, and that was in 1 month. This is a portion of what I've made. I'm not saying this to flex or to brag, but I'm trying to prove to you guys that it is possible that you can go from the situation that you are in right now to a completely different version of reality. I would work 12-hour days in construction, and I just felt so meaningless. There was nothing I was doing in my life that made me feel like I was fulfilling my purpose, and I didn't have any kind of fulfillment at all. And now I live the exact life I want to live. I can literally do every single thing that I want to do. I fly first class, I drive nice cars, I stay in nice places, I've traveled the world, and I'm literally only just getting started. And I need you guys to truly believe that that can be the reality for you as well, and that it will be the reality for you as well. As I was working this construction job, I started to consume more content around online business, and I started to learn about money and how it worked and how the system operated. I came across some different people on YouTube, and I started to aggressively self-educate as I was working in this construction job. As I was working in this construction job, I started to try new things. I wanted to start a social media marketing agency, and that social media marketing agency failed. I bought their domain, but I realized quite quickly that I wasn't going to succeed with it. And the reason for that was because social media marketing is a combination of a bunch of different skills: sales, marketing, acquiring clients, firing people, hiring people, and I had no skills, nothing. But the valuable lesson that I learned in this is that I needed to focus on the skill set. So I asked myself, what skills do I need to succeed in business? And the first skill that caught my eye was sales. I started looking into the best types of sales roles, and I found remote closing. It's just a sales role that you can do from your home. I found a mentor, I invested in my knowledge and my education. Within 1 month, I was an appointment setter, and I quit my job. Within 6 months, I was making $10,000 a month, and then a few months later, I was making $50,000 a month. My life completely changed so fast, it felt surreal. But then I realized it wasn't luck, it wasn't some secret hack. It was finding the right knowledge and the right information that would allow me to develop the skills that would allow me to live the life that I wanted. And in this video today, that is the exact knowledge and information that I am going to be teaching you. Before we dive into techniques, strategies, and actionable steps, we need to establish what we're even doing here. We need to establish why we're doing what we're doing. So I'm going to run you through our mission. Your mission is the foundation of everything that you're about to build. It is what fuels you, keeps you going when things get tough. And it gives your actions meaning, gives you a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Without a clear mission, everything will fall apart. Like I said before, a few years ago, I was just a normal ass guy. I was living a life that didn't excite me, didn't offer me anything new. I had no growth. I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't healthy, and I certainly wasn't free. But I realized one day that no one was coming to save me. I needed to create a mission in my head. I needed to create something that I could be in pursuit of constantly. If I wanted my life to change, I had to change. And that's when I committed to mastering 3 areas of my life. Everything comes down to these 3 areas to me, and I made this my mission. And these were my 3 pillars of self-actualization: fitness, finance, and focus. And let me tell you, when you master these 3 areas, your entire life will change. Everything else starts to fall into place: your relationships, your confidence, your charisma, your health, and you start living life on your own terms. My mission with this video is to help you master these 3 aspects of your life by giving you the right information in order for you to do so. First thing we're going to do is master your finances. We're going to learn how to make, multiply, and manage your money. And we're talking about real financial freedom, the kind that lets you literally get up every day and do exactly what you want to do. Then we want to transform your fitness. We want to make sure you have the knowledge and the ability and the freedom to build the body of your dreams and be as healthy as you can potentially be, which means you need to have the time to work on that, and you also need to have the resources to eat the right food and live the right lifestyle. You need to be so committed and focused and driven and clear on exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it, so that you can get the most juice out of this experience that we call life. This isn't about just getting money or being in shape. Those things are great, but what we're doing here is making sure that you are becoming by far the best possible version of yourself. You want self-actualization. There is a version of you that does everything that he is supposed to do, whether he feels like it or not. There is a version of you that is the best version of yourself, and it is waiting for you to become it. I want you to be able to wake up every day with purpose, clarity, and conviction in every action that you take. And I am not going to tell you that this is going to be easy. It wasn't for me, and it's not going to be easy for you. But there is no better way to live your life than being committed to your mission. I really want you to understand, and I want you to believe that if you commit to putting the work on what I'm about to show you, that your life will completely change. And you will be able to live as a self-actualized version of yourself, and the rewards of that will be beyond anything that you could imagine. Let me ask you something. If you want to build a house that lasts, what is the most important part? It's not the roof. It's not the walls. It's not even the design. It is the foundation. What you build everything else on has to be solid, else everything will come crumbling down. And the same is true for success. Most people fail, not because they're not talented, not because they're not driven, but they never lay the correct foundations. They're not building everything on a solid foundation. So we need to set the correct foundation. We need to set a strong foundation so that everything that we build will not be done in vain, because it will stay standing, because it is built on the right things. Now you might be wondering, when he says foundation, what is he talking about? I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean when I say building the right foundations. I'm going to show you how you can do it today, so that all the things that we implement after this are going to last for decades. So what makes up a strong foundation? I like to break it into 5 key pillars: your vision, your why, your belief, your spirit, and urgency. Number 1 being your vision. Understand that clarity is power. This is something that I always talk about because it is the key to actually getting what you want in life. I want to ask you a serious question right now. Do you know where you are going? What does your dream life look like? What do you want? When I ask this question, people will give me bullshit ass answers like, I want financial freedom, or I want money. How much money? Why that much money? You need to have such a clear vision in your head of exactly where you want to be in life, exactly who you want to be in life. And I highly suggest that you get a pen and paper and you start to cast a vision for 1, who you want to be, and 2, what life you want to live. If you can get crystal clear on these 2 things, I guarantee you that you will have 100 times better of a chance of actually getting that thing. If you do not know what you want, how can you get it? You cannot be too specific with this. You want to write exactly how much money you need to make every single year, every single month, every single day, every single hour. You want to know exactly where you live, what your wife looks like, how many kids you have, what car you drive. You need a crystal clear vision in order to get it. Now, this isn't about materialism. It is about clarity. You need to have an exact version of yourself in your head. If you want to take it to the next level, like what I did, I created an alter ego of myself, an alter ego that did every single thing that he was supposed to do, whether he felt like it or not. And I competed with that version of myself inside my head. And eventually I became that version of myself. I became the best version of myself by competing with that person. Create an alter ego of yourself that is the best version of yourself and compete with that. And then eventually you'll be living the life that he would be living. You can never spend too much time on this, and you never stop going back to it. Always remember your vision and always recreate and adjust your vision as you achieve it. The second thing is your why. Why are you doing all this? This is super, super important. If you do not have a strong why, you will fail. And no, wanting a Ferrari isn't a strong enough why. Wanting money isn't a strong enough why. You need something that's going to get you out of bed every morning. And having a nice car isn't powerful enough to get you out of bed every morning. Maybe it's providing for your family. Maybe it's your legacy. Maybe it is self-actualization. The clearer your vision, the stronger your why can be. If your vision is to put your whole family in cars, in houses, to retire your parents, that becomes your why also, and they tie in together, and you can become very, very obsessed with achieving that. When you feel like you can see it, you can almost step into it. So get super clear on your vision and establish a really, really strong why from that vision. But I really want you to think for a bit. Why are you doing this? Because I guarantee you this is going to take a lot of pain and suffering, and it's not going to be easy. And the only way to make that pain and suffering worth it is to have a strong vision and have a strong why. The third thing is belief. You need to truly believe that you can achieve every single thing that you want to achieve. You need to believe that your vision is going to be your reality, because if you do not, then you are never going to achieve it. You need to truly believe that you're going to have every single thing that you want. Without belief, this is all going to fall down. Without belief, this will all fail. You need to believe truly in your heart that everything that you're about to do is going to come to fruition and you will achieve your vision, else you are never going to do the actions required to achieve that vision. The fourth thing is your spirit. Developing resilience, the ability to bounce back, the ability to never quit, never waver. Now, on this journey, there is going to be months where you see no progress. There is going to be major setbacks. There are going to be things that make you question everything. The question is, will you get back up? How fast? Can you keep pushing? Spirit is about hunger and resilience and the ability to keep moving forward and be completely obsessed with your task and your mission, regardless of the circumstances. Here's an example. Think of your favorite fighter in the ring. He probably has some sort of fighting spirit where he can get rocked, or he can get into the trenches, or he can go into deep water and keep going. You need to adopt that same mindset and apply it to how you're going to operate in business. The fifth thing is urgency. One of the main determining factors of whether I can tell someone is going to be successful or not is their urgency. If you do not feel like you're already behind, if you do not feel like you're running out of time, then you are never going to grind as hard as you need to grind to get to where you need to be. The number one trait I see in unsuccessful people is a lack of urgency. They don't feel compelled to get to work. They don't feel like they're behind, and that is a major problem. You need urgency. You need to understand that you need to be rich, and you need to be rich fast, else you're never going to become it. So I want you to pause the video right now, and I want you to sit down and get super clear on these 5 things. Do you have a vision? Do you have a why? Do you believe that you can achieve those things? Do you feel urgency? And do you feel like your spirit is going to be able to persist through this? Get super clear on that, and then we'll get into the rest of the video. School trains you to hate education and hate the idea of learning. I know that I, after school, did not want to listen to anyone, did not want to learn. But something I realized, and something that you need to realize if you've left school, is that education really isn't bad. You just need to be educated on the right things. And you'll also realize that self-education will never betray you. You can learn real life skills. You can learn real life information that will completely transform your life. Not all education is bullshit. And life becomes a lot more enjoyable and fulfilling when you actually learn that there's stuff out there that's going to benefit your life. The very first step, and exactly what I did, was find the right education. Find someone that was living the life that I wanted to be living and learn from them. And I like to do this from a very objective standpoint. You can absolutely go out and try to do everything on your own, and you might even find success. However, I made an educated decision instead of taking the long-winded process to learn from all my own mistakes, to learn from all my own trial and error, and instead of working my way up through a bunch of different sales roles and appointment setting and sending 5 million cold DMs trying to get a role, to random business owners that have no idea who I am, trying to land an appointment setting role with no experience, to instead just use the little money that I had at the time from my construction job to invest in my education, to invest in a mentor, and to invest in someone who was living the life I wanted to be living with the skills that I wanted to do it with. So just be aware of a few things that could occur if you do try to do this on your own. One, the chances of you quitting instantly multiply, because when something goes wrong or when you hit a wall, you don't have anyone to teach you how to get through that. you don't have any previous knowledge or experience on how to overcome that. You will have nowhere to turn, and very often people give up at this point. Or the second thing that will happen is you'll just take far longer to get there. If you feel like you want it to be a 10-year process, go and try it on your own. If you want it to happen very quickly, like it did for me within 1 year, then I would definitely recommend having someone that's already done the thing, be able to tell you exactly how to do it. So if you think doing this on your own is truly the best option for you, please go ahead and do that. Watch this video and implement everything I tell you. But if you want to do the same thing that I did, which was actually invest in my education, invest in my mentor, there will be a link below to book in a call with the Academy. This is the same academy that taught me every single thing I know. It taught me everything I know about sales, about content, about personal branding, about digital products. And it is the same academy that I am with today, where I personally mentor people and where my mentors personally mentor people. So like I said, there will be a link below to booking a call with them. But if not, watch this entire video, implement the things yourself, and see how you go. Now that you've got your foundation in place, it's time to build a framework for success. And that starts with acquiring high income skills. Now, this is the thing that actually catapulted me to success. And this is the thing that's going to catapult every single one of you to success. It is your skill set. You need to stack skills, but not just any skills, high income skills. So what are high income skills? High income skills are skills that take about 1 to 2 months to learn, but they allow you to make 10, 20, 30, all the way up to $100,000 a month. You can make more money than a doctor or a lawyer with just 1 to 2 months of work. This is something no one is going to tell you if you're going to go down the traditional education system. They want you to spend 4 to 6 years of your life getting a uni degree that makes you work a job for the rest of your life. There is skills out there that you can learn that allow you to make far more money than anyone else. They're scalable, they're in demand, and if you can become the best at them, you allow yourself to make money in perpetuity, and you allow yourself to get complete freedom. Examples of high income skills are things like sales, content creation, copywriting. The very first skill that I learned was sales. We're going to teach you that today. Why do I recommend learning the skill of sales first? Because every single business in the world needs sales to survive. And the beauty of sales is it's one of the only skills out there that you can learn that drastically improves the quality of your life. It's one of the only skills that allows you to be more confident, more charismatic, more well-spoken, more articulate, better at understanding human psychology, and much more. And it's a skill that you can use for the rest of your life. Once you learn it, you pretty much put yourself in a situation where you'll never make less than 6 figures a year. And the best part about sales is as it relates to my own personal story. You can be at rock bottom. You can have no qualifications. You can have no money. You can be in the worst possible position in life. High ticket commission-based sales is always going to be there for you. Anybody can get into sales. Anybody can go from rock bottom to making millions of dollars with high ticket commission based sales. When I started in sales, I had no college degree, I had no business experience, I had no knowledge of anything. And within a few months, I was making thousands of dollars every single week by taking a few calls. I first started in appointment setting, which is a broken down version of sales where you're setting up the sales calls. This allowed me to make my first $600 in a week, and I quit my job instantly. After that, I slowly transitioned into a closing role. In this closing role, I started making 1 to 2K a week, and I had a newfound freedom that I didn't even know was possible. Now in this video, I'm going to be teaching you multiple high income skills, but the ultimate high income skill in my opinion is sales or remote closing, because it isn't just about selling products or selling services. It's about communication, it's about persuasion, it's about networking, it's about human psychology. It's about understanding people at the deepest possible level, which allows you to move through life on a completely different playing field than the average person. Mastering sales teaches you how to connect with other people, solve problems, create value, and be the type of person who can not only know a lot of people, but have a lot of people like and do things for them. Now, when I say sales, I'm not talking about pushy car sales or a door-to-door sales job. I'm talking about consultative selling, where you're actually speaking to people and finding out what their problems are, and finding out how you can help them solve those problems. This is what I specialize in, and this is what I am about to teach you. The first steps to mastering sales is understanding exactly what it is. In sales, all you're doing is asking questions, finding a problem, and solving that problem. So when you're speaking to a prospect, you're going to ask things like, what are you looking to achieve with this? Why are you looking to achieve that? What's been holding you back? How long have you been wanting to do this? What's been stopping you from doing this? What pain is not being able to do this causing? People don't buy products, they buy outcomes. They want to know, What is this going to do for me? How is this going to change my situation? Your line of questioning is basically there to uncover how you can help the prospect make the best possible decision for their future. And when you ask the correct questions, it takes all the focus off you and puts it all on the prospect. They do not want to hear about you. They don't want to hear about your life story. They want to know how this is going to help them. Now, with your questioning, what should happen is the prospect should come to the solution themselves, and you do that by guiding them with the correct questions. And this leads the prospect to basically close themselves and say, yes, I need this, it's perfect for me. And you do this by asking questions like, what was it like before? Where are you at right now, and where are you trying to get? And as you're asking these questions, you should just be asking them in a genuinely curious tone. Okay, bro, so like, what made you even want to do this? Got you, bro. So you said you've been feeling like this for the last year. What made you feel like you just want to start taking action now? When you're on these calls, you want to dive into the prospect's past, present, and future. You want to have a really clear understanding of where they've been, where they're currently at, and where they want to go. By doing this, now you can establish the bridge on what's going to get them to where they want to be. And it's done by asking the right questions. Ask a specific question, get a specific answer, ask an open-ended question about their answer. By asking these questions, you should get to a point where the prospect, not you, but the prospect has a desire to change, and they have a clear understanding on what they would need to change. It must come from within them. The next thing you want to do is build urgency. You need them to feel like they need to change now, and you do that by asking them questions like, hey bro, if you don't take action on this, where do you see yourself 6 months from now? I can't imagine I'd still be working in this warehouse, and I literally cannot put up with it for any longer. Okay bro, so is that something that you're willing to settle for? No dude, I can't settle for that. Perfect, man. Alright, so if you do take action, where do you see yourself in 6 months? Wow man, I feel like I'd be making like 10K a month. Boom. Now there's urgency built. When you're asking questions, there is 4 main things that you're looking to extract: their motive, their why, their pain, and their problem. If you get these 4 pieces of information, and you get enough information on each 4 of these pieces, you should have enough ammunition to really execute and close and pitch correctly. And what this allows you to do is, as you list the deliverables, you talk about how these things that you're going to deliver to them are going to impact each of those 4 things. So bro, we're going to make sure that every single day you have access to a coaching call. This is going to allow you to solve that problem that you're having of not having the right knowledge, so that you can solve that issue where you don't have enough money to provide for yourself and your parents, so that you stop experiencing pain associated with that. Something like this when it comes to doing your deliverables. That way you're not just saying, dude, we're so amazing, we have X, Y, and Z, we have this, this, and this, but you're actually saying, we have this that's going to help you achieve this, which is going to make you feel better because of this. We do this because the person doesn't really care about what you're offering. They care about if it's going to help them solve their issues and get to where they want to be in life. Throughout the call, you're going to first probably collect the motive, ask why they're on the call. Then you're going to ask why they haven't already found the success and get their problem. Then you can go into their pain, what it's causing not being able to solve that problem, whether it's a family issue, whether it's they just hate being broke, whether they hate their job. Then you can establish a gap between that, and then you're going to plug in what you're offering as the bridge between those 2 things. Then once you've done that, it's time to approach what most salespeople dread, which is the pitch. But you should not be scared. Your heart rate shouldn't raise. You shouldn't feel any more anxious as you go to pitch. People get really tweaked out when it comes to dropping price, but this should honestly be a very comforting part of the call, assuming you've done everything right in the lead up to that. You're not here to just pitch for the sake of it. You're here to pitch because you have the solution to their problems, and they need it. Sales reps can definitely get stressed out when it comes to pitching because you're asking someone to hand over thousands of dollars. But during the pitch, the main thing is that you've built trust and rapport throughout the call, and you've built a big enough gap so that they really want to take action. A good way to maintain trust is not using words. A good way to maintain trust and not build sales friction is to use words like investment instead of price, and changing contract to agreement. This way they feel more comfortable. Then when you go to pitch, you want to drop price and then just remain silent. It would sound something like this. Okay, perfect, bro. So the total investment for the academy is just going to be $6,000 US. You pause, you let the silence go. They'll either say yes, get started, or there'll be a silence and they'll give you some kind of objection. Now, if you're not used to an awkward silence, this can be quite weird, but you just need to firm it and you'll get better and better at learning to deal with that silence. You need to allow the call to breathe. You can't get anxious. The game plan is to develop skills like sales, to develop skills like appointment setting and content creation, so that we can literally make money in perpetuity. Now, the very first step, the very first transition into this space in general is exactly what I did, which was called appointment setting. Okay, so when we get into appointment setting, let's start with the basics. We need to understand exactly what appointment setting is because some of you might not know. Appointment setting is simply the process in which you take someone from that first touch to actually scheduling in a sales call. And your job is basically the connector. Your job is to find a lead, which is a potential customer, turn that lead into someone who's actually on a call by qualifying them by understanding their needs, their desires, and their pain. It is simple but powerful. Now, appointment setting is very often the first step into the high ticket sales space. It was the first thing that I did, and it's the first thing that a lot of people that I know do, because it is easier to do than closing, and it is a really, really good way to transition into closing, because you learn about the offer, you learn about the sales process, and you communicate with closers. So then when it is your turn to become a closer, you're really well equipped to do so. So the very first thing that you're going to need to do when you're getting into the high ticket sales space in general, and also becoming an appointment setter, is you're going to need to find a client. Now, I'm going to show you different ways that you can find a client and how I would go about doing it in today's environment. The very first thing I would do is pick my niche, or establish like 3 key niches that I want to work in. Maybe you want a fitness client, but maybe you're also interested in e-commerce or something of this nature. Figure out which niches suit you best and which niches you actually want to work in. Then once you've done that, it is as simple as going to Instagram, going to the search bar, and literally just putting that niche word and then coach after it. For example, if you go to Instagram right now and you go e-commerce coach, it'll give you a bunch of different coaches. If you go Airbnb coach, it'll give you a bunch of different coaches. If you go fitness coach, you'll also get a bunch of different coaches. This is one way. And you might already follow a potential couple clients. If you're interested in e-commerce, you probably already follow a few e-commerce people that have high ticket offers. If you're interested in fitness, you probably already follow a few potential clients. So this is how you can find new ones, but also remember that just by consuming content and being online, you probably already came across a few people that could potentially be clients. Then once you've found someone that you could see yourself working for that has a good offer and you want to actually work for them, what you're going to do is just make sure that they're actually selling a high ticket offer. And the best way to do this is that if they have something in their bio that says DM me for coaching or DM me to join my mentorship, then they probably sell a high ticket offer. Or if they have a link in their bio that allows you to book in a call, this also means they have a high ticket offer. What you don't want is someone who only has a link to buy something in their bio, because if you can buy it just by pressing a button, it is not a high ticket offer. It needs to be a sales rep. So if you find someone that has those things, that is going to be the person that you reach out to. Then once you've found this person, don't slide straight into their DMs, follow them. Because I know if someone reaches out to me and they don't even follow me, I just disregard the message, because I can tell that it's clearly just a simple outreach message. So follow them, start engaging with their content, start liking their stories, like their posts, make your face known if possible. This warms up the relationship so that when they see that your DM, they don't think you're just someone trying to make money off them. Be authentic, it goes a long way. Now we're going to get into the different ways you can actually get a role and land a role, and the different places you can look to actually land your first appointment setting role. So step 2 is how to actually find the client. And this is probably the number one question that I get asked in regards to the sales industry, is how do I actually find someone to work for? So here's the step-by-step strategies that you can use in different places. The very first thing, and one of the most powerful things, is social media. I would say mainly platforms like Instagram and TikTok and even Twitter are gold mines for finding clients. Look for coaches, consultants, and business owners that run a high ticket offer. I would stick to Instagram as probably the main one, as it's really good and it's where a lot of people excel with their online presence. The only issue with social media, and what I've seen in the space, is you could end up doing outreach for months and months and not land a role. Because if you do not have any experience or expertise or any real value of yourself, which I'm assuming you are if you're watching this video, if you've never been a setter before, then it's going to be very hard to find a role outreaching to these people. Because for the most part, these people have someone or have some sort of connection where they go when they need to hire someone for their offer. Which is why I go back to recommending that you join an academy like what I did, because doing this, it completely negates you having to do any sort of outreach at all. Because not only do you have training, you also have experience, and you also have the connections that you need within the space to actually get on a goldmine offer. I know I personally got on a goldmine offer straight away because I was trained, I was experienced, and I had the connections that I needed in the space to get on a good offer. However, if you do decide that you want to do outreach with social media and you feel like you can potentially get a role through this process, here's how you can do your outreach. It would just be something like, hey Marcel, I've been watching your content, I love what you're doing in this space, I really resonated with what you said in this video, I noticed you might benefit from a more structured follow-up system, this is what I've been implementing in my own setting process, let me know if you think this is something that would help you, and actually lead with value, actually give away so much value in this outreach message that they think, damn, this guy's really dialed in, he's just trying to help me. And then at the end of your value-based message, you could just say something like, if you're looking for someone to help you increase your amount of book calls, I would really like to help you do that, I've got X amount of experience, are you looking for someone to assist you with that? Don't slide into someone's DMs talking about, are you hiring, let me be an appointment setter for you, because no one's going to do that. It's lazy and it puts the burden on them to try to figure out whether you're worth hiring or not. Instead, if you come to them with value and you come to them with a solution or an improvement on what they're currently doing, they're going to feel way more inclined to reply to you and actually get you on the team. The second way you could go about trying to find a role is school groups. If you go to school, it'll give you a bunch of different communities, some of which are probably high ticket, some of which are probably low ticket, and some of which are free. But what you can do is go into these communities and message the person who runs them and see if they need setters, which they very likely probably will. There's a lot of free versions on there, and I would even go as far as joining these free communities. When you do the outreach message to the person who runs the community, you could say, hey, I've been in your community for X amount of time. I would really love to help you get more people into the community by being a setter for you. This would be a super strong way to build rapport and actually get a role through school. And the third method, like I already spoke about, is networking and your connections. Now, this is personally what I did. I find it to be by far the best method and the fastest way of getting a really good offer. However, sometimes it can obviously come with a investment, which a lot of people aren't willing to do. But for me, an investment was the best thing I ever did. It helped me get to where I am within less than a year. It really helped catapult me. So if you can work a job, set some money aside, and get to a point where you're actually able to invest in your network, invest in your connections, get in the right group, this will 100% help you land a really good offer really quick. Join communities, join sales groups, follow people, even free webinars. By getting yourself in the right circles, you can start making the right connections that you need to get on the right offer. Don't underestimate the power of your personal network. I've met so many people just by having value and speaking to people that have really helped me level up, and my first gig just came through the people that I knew. The opportunities are closer than you think. Just meet the right people, become valuable, and you'll be able to land a good role. Step 3 is how to actually land the role. Now that you've found the clients, it's time to actually land the role and get hired. And this is where most people fumble, but not you, because you're watching this video right now. Now, as you go to land this role, you want to make sure that your social media is presentable, that you look professional, that you look like you know what you're talking about. If you've got photos and videos of you and the boys smoking weed and drinking, you're not going to get hired. If you've got stupid memes up on your shit, you're not going to get hired. You need to look like a professional. You need to look like someone that is going to hire you, because your social media is your resume. So you're going to reach out, you're going to speak to these potential clients, and they're going to give you an interview. Now, on this interview, you're going to ask them questions. You're going to ask them like, what is your top closer making? What do you feel like is lacking in your sales process? What do you feel like I would need to do in order to really level your sales team up? What is the sort of team culture that you have? By doing this, you're asking them questions and seeing what they need. Then you can position yourself as that thing that they need. And they're also going to understand that you have a brief understanding of sales if you're asking them questions and not trying to sell yourself. If you're sitting there and saying, I'm so great, I've closed this many deals, they're probably going to be like, okay, cool, but this guy just thinks he's all that. So what you need to do, go on, see how you can best serve them. Obviously go into your experience and things like that, but place most of the focus on them and their sales process and how you can provide value to that. So when I started, I revamped my profile. I set my story highlights up correctly. I set my few clean posts up correctly. Then I actually landed the role. I understood the business. I understood their offer. And then when I got in there, I was able to learn very quickly because I already understood most of the things. Then once you get on the call for the interview, the main thing is that you're just authentic. Don't try to be someone you're not. Tell them your experience. Even if you don't have any experience, I think you would be better off saying, I haven't actually been on an offer yet, but I've been researching and looking at this for the last X amount of time. You and me both know this is the easiest thing ever. The main thing is that I'm hungry and I know I'm going to book you calls and I know I'm going to make you money. Someone would much prefer to hear that than for you to lie about your experience and get on and then just eat shit on the offer and fail anyway. Then assuming that you're yourself, you provide value, you talk to them on the call and you genuinely want to improve their offer, then they are going to hire you. So that leads me to step 4, which is how to perform as an appointment setter. So now it is time to deliver. You actually need to be a gun appointment setter and you need to start booking calls. Now, most businesses are going to provide you with a script or a certain thing that they want you to follow, but you also need to remember not to be too robotic and too scripted as you're going to scare people off. So memorize the script and understand the psychology behind each question, but do not come on there sending the same scripted DM every single time, because if you do that, you're going to scare the prospect off because they're going to feel like they're talking to AI. You need to be asking questions, and as they give you a specific response, ask an open-ended question about their response. People don't buy from businesses, they buy from people. So when someone's DMing someone, you need to make sure it sounds as personable and real as possible. So when someone comes to you, be attentive to what they're saying. Do not just send a scripted message. You need to cater it to each individual prospect. The opening of your conversation would look something like this. They would send you a CTA, meaning someone put something up on their story saying, DM me the word join. They'll send you that DM. Then you can reach out and say, hey, what made you reach out? They'll say, I reached out because I'm doing this and I want to be doing this. Then what you would say is, bro, what made you want to get into this specifically? Or how is that currently going through in your current job? Why do you feel like you want to change? to genuinely try to build curiosity in what they're doing and why they want to get into something different. The first portion of the DM process should be information gathering. You're trying to figure out why they're reaching out in the first place. The main things that you want to extract is what they're currently doing for work, how much they're making, and where they currently want to be with what they're doing and how much they're making. Then you can establish a gap between the two. What is stopping you from actually doing that? And they'll say either it's a lack of knowledge, it's a lack of experience, I don't know where to start. Then you can plug in yourself as the person who's going to fix that issue. What I'm about to do right now is I'm going to run you through what a successful setting process looks like so you guys can get a really good understanding of that. So as you can see here, someone did a CTA. I then responded, I sent them the free course and I said, appreciate the message. Is this the first time that you've looked into this or have you wanted to start for a while? He then said, I've wanted to start for a while, to be honest. I've been wanting to get into the online space for some time, just knowing or believing which route to take, whether it's Forex, trading, sales, dropshipping, etc. He then sent me a bunch of voice messages saying that he's already talked to a few people. I told him that I was doing the same thing that he was doing in the past. And then I asked if he's still traveling or if he's just working as normal. Then he sent me a bunch of messages saying that, yeah, I understand it's not a get rich quick scheme. I definitely know where I want to go in life. I know what I want to do, X, Y, Z. Gave me a bit more information about where he's currently at. Then I just said, this message here, you can see I'm like replying to what he's saying. You don't want to have someone send you all of these messages and then just say this because they're going to feel like nobody's listening to them, right? So it's important to also respond to what they said. And then I obviously sent follow-up message, getting more of where his goals are. Do you want to transition into the space full time? And he said, yeah, I want to transition fully into the online space, leave the trade, X, Y, Z. I have big dreams, bro. He wants to take the next step. That's when I went on to set up the call. He said he wants to hop on a call and then I organize the call. And that's what a successful setting process looks like. And that ended up closing for $6,000 US. So that's what a successful setting process looks like. Obviously, there's a bunch of different examples of what it would look like. Each different prospect goes differently, but as long as you're genuinely having a conversation with the prospect, you're finding out genuinely where they want to be, where they're currently at, and you're financially qualifying them by making sure that they have some sort of income, then you can go ahead and book that prospect and you can get commission for that. Now, you're going to continue in this appointment setting role and you're going to continue performing as best as you possibly can. As soon as I started appointment setting in my first week, I made $600. So with that $600, I quit my job and I started setting full time. Now, the thing with setting is you might not make 10K a month, but you're able to make quite good money and get out of your job and focus on sales full time, which is our goal here. So you should only really be an appointment setter for a few months. You can do it as long as you want, but I genuinely think you should go from appointment setter to closer as quickly as possible. I did it in about a month and I think you should too. So get into this appointment setting role, get out of your job, and then perform as best as possible as a setter. And then as you're doing this, you want to put yourself in the best possible position to become a closer, which leads me to Step 1, what is closing? Closing is basically the upgrade of appointment setting. So the appointment setters are scheduling calls for the closers. Now, as a closer, what you're doing is you're taking sales calls and you are selling these high ticket digital products. Closing is the final step in the sales process and is basically where you're getting on a call with a warm lead who wants to buy the product and you're simply helping them get all their information out on the table, seeing if what you're offering is going to actually improve their lives. And if it is, you're then getting them to a point where they are willing to invest thousands of dollars in this product. So as a closer, your role is to basically sit at your desk and take calls. Now, in these calls, you can be making anywhere from $200 to $2,000 per hour. But this is what closing isn't. It's not about sleazy sales tactics or trying to convince someone to buy something they don't need, but it's about understanding someone's situation in depth. And if you can provide some sort of solution that is going to get them the result that they want, then providing them with that solution. Now, if you've done your job right as a closer, you should feel very happy that you've given this person the thing that they need to get to where they want to be in life. Obviously, a lot of whether or not they get results is on them. So it's also about building enough rapport, enough trust, and building enough understanding from them in the decision they're going to make and in their commitment to it that they're actually going to implement and do the things after to get the results. Now, closing is a thing that actually allowed me to scale to $10,000 a month in less than 6 months. And it was the first thing that kind of got me real freedom. The only thing with closing is that your income is still directly linked to your time. If you're not on calls, you're not making money. But it is very much you eat what you kill, meaning that if you do not perform, then you do not make any money. And if you do perform, you can make a lot of money. But remember one thing, if you do not close, you do not make commission, you do not make money. So this is why in sales it's so important to become a really good sales rep and master your craft, because if you do not, you will be broke. But closing at its fundamental is basically just a sales role where you're taking calls and you're closing deals and helping people. Step 2 is landing a closing role. So to get into a closing role, you can pretty much use any of the methods that I went over in the appointment setting module. However, a lot of people that become closers start as appointment setters, and it's a more of a natural transition and natural upgrade from setter. So we're going to talk about both of those. The very first one is to prove your skills. Now, this is if you're upgrading from a setter. If you're a setter, you need to be communicating really well with the closers and the rest of the team. You need to be booking in as many calls as humanly possible and being really communicative and trying to make sure that the calls that you're booking in are closing. If you're doing this, you're putting yourself in the best possible position to actually become a closer. You prove your skill set as a setter, and then you send a really genuine message saying, I've been setting for your company for X amount of times. I love working with you. I really feel like it's time for me to take this to the next step. I would love the opportunity to be able to get onto some calls to prove my sales skills and my ability to close. If I close these deals, I would like to talk about getting a full-time closing role. If your person that you're working for isn't a piece of shit, they will probably oblige and let you take some calls to see where you're at with your closing ability. Once again, the second step is to get the right training. It is very, very difficult to become a gun closer if you do not have some type of training. Once again, like I said, I had a mentor, I had a sales academy where I actually learned the skills. So this really helped, because when I was getting on these calls, I wasn't clueless. I knew what to do already by doing role plays, by being trained. And then not only that, but by having people watch your sales calls back and telling you exactly what you did well, telling you what you need to work on. So if you really want to become a closer and make a lot of money, like I said, find the right training, find the right coaches, and it'll really, really help you. Once again, if you want to learn from the same people that I did and learn from me, there will be a link to booking a call below if you're wanting to become a closer. And the third way, once again, is to leverage your network. If you can just connect with the right people, someone is going to give you an opportunity. Especially if you're already in a sales team as a setter, you're going to be speaking to the closers, you're going to be speaking to the sales managers, and there will be opportunities everywhere. And you just need to convey yourself and frame yourself in the right position to be able to land a role through that. Then once you're ready, it's time to just pitch yourself. And like I said, what that would look like is just saying, hey, I've been working for your company for X amount of time. I feel like I'm ready to reach that next level. What would it take for me to be able to get on some calls? Then step 3 is closing. So now I'm going to run you through how I close, how you should close, and the different sort of processes that I focus on. Now, there's 4 foundational pieces of information that I am trying to extract on every sales call. These are motive, why, pain, and problem. If you can get these 4 pieces of information and you can get enough ammunition on these 4 pieces of information, you're setting yourself up for a strong pitch and you're setting yourself up with the best possible chance of getting a close. What I do when I go into a sales call is I have these 4 things written down and I will write notes in each of these so that I can relate back to them throughout the call. Now, you extract these pieces of information in what we call the information gathering, because before you can close someone, you need to understand in detail where they're currently at, what they're trying to achieve, why they're trying to achieve it, and what pain they're currently experiencing, as well as what's holding them back from achieving that. This is where great questions come in. Now, as a closer, you need to think of yourself as a genuinely curious detective and friend of this person. You're trying to help them. And when I say friend, I don't mean let this person walk all over you, but frame yourself in the call as someone who's genuinely trying to find out about their situation to see if you can genuinely help them. I'm going to give you guys a brief rundown of what my old framework looked like. So the very first thing I would open up with is why they're even there. I would open up the call with something like, hey bro, how you doing today? I know we already had a brief conversation over DMs, but talk to me a little bit about what made you reach out and want to hop on this call. Then they will go into pretty much exactly why they reached out. Then I'll go into their motive and I'll kind of get an understanding of why they're here, what made them want to do this. And then I kind of want to go into their current situation. There's really 2 things that you want to extract on a sales call. It is their current situation and their desire. On top of the other 4 things we spoke about, the motive, problem, pain, and why, the 2 things that we really want to establish is their current situation and their desired end situation. If we can get clarity on these 2 things, we put ourselves as the bridge between the 2. So the first thing that I normally go into on a sales call is their current situation. What are you doing for work right now? Why do you want to change that? How long have you been doing that for work? Why do you feel like now is the time to change if you've been doing this for the last 3 years? Can you see yourself doing this for the next 6 months? Is that something that you're willing to settle for? Why haven't you taken action on anything yet? What made you change all of a sudden to want to take action? Then once you have a really good understanding of where they're currently at, and you've got urgency built around them wanting to get out of that situation, then we can go into their desired end situation. Okay, bro, so you've come to this conclusion now that you really want to get out of where you're at. You want to be able to do X, Y, and Z. So talk to me, man. Like, let's say within the next 6 months, where do you see yourself? In an ideal world, where do you want to be? I want to be out of my job. I want to have complete freedom. I want to be making 30K a month. I want to do this, this, and this. Okay, perfect, bro. So if you do get started and you have access to the right training, the right knowledge, XYZ, do you see yourself getting there? Yeah, man, 100% I see myself getting there. Perfect, bro. So what do you think would happen if you didn't get started? Nah, I can't not get started, bro. I can't still be in the same position 6 months from now. Okay, perfect. And simply just by asking questions and going through that process, understanding where they're at and where they want to be, you can then build a bridge and you build urgency and you make sure that this person wants to take action. They know where they want to go. They know they can't stay where they're at. And just by asking questions, not forcing anything on them, not trying to convince them about anything, but just asking them questions about where they want to be and what they want to do, you can get the prospect to a point where they're like, I need this. I need to change. I need what you're selling me. And then you can just sell it to them. And like I said, as you ask these questions, you're going to basically fill out their motive, which is what do they want? Why are they on the call? So this could be something like financial freedom to retire parents to make 30K a month, to be able to move and live wherever they want to live. That's their motive. What is their why? Their why is they can't afford to retire their parents. They really want to be able to retire their parents. That is the thing that's getting them out of bed every morning. Their problem. What's been preventing them from actually getting started? You would get this from a question like, okay, bro, so you said you've been wanting to do this for the last 6 months. What's kind of been holding you back in regards to actually getting started with it? And they'll say something like, bro, I just don't know where to start. I just don't have the knowledge. I don't know where to get started. I don't have any guidance or support. So then you would say in the problem section, guidance, knowledge, support. And that's what you're going to give them. You're going to fix their problem, which is going to allow them to get their motive and achieve their why. Once you've done the entire information gathering process and you've got all the information that you need, it is then time to go into the pitch. So when you pitch, what you're basically going to do is you're going to tell them the things that you're going to give them that is going to solve all the things that they gave you. So as you do one deliverable, a deliverable is a weekly coaching call. You would deliver it like this. Okay, bro, so the very first thing that we're going to do, and you're going to bring up their problem. You told me that you just feel like you don't have the knowledge. You don't know where to start. That's what you're lacking. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we close that knowledge gap. And we're going to do that by giving you a coaching call every single week, one-on-one, where we run you through and we tell you exactly what to do. So that way you can start to learn, you can start to implement, you can start to make money, so that then you go into their why. You're able to make enough money to look after yourself and then obviously look after your parents as well. Do you feel like having a coaching call every single week would hold you accountable and allow you to start taking steps in the right direction so you could get to 10K a month and eventually look after yourself and your parents? Yeah, man, definitely 100%. That's what I need. I just need that guidance. Boom, done. You're going to do this for each different deliverable. You're going to tie it into their why and their problem and their pain. And then once you've done that, you are going to pitch. Now, when you pitch, you need to drop price and remain silent. Once you've done all your deliverables, it would sound something like this. Perfect, bro. And the total investment for that is just a one-time investment of $6,000 US. Then you just go silent. You don't follow up with anything. As soon as you drop price, you let the silence speak for itself, and then you let them break the silence. They'll either say, yes, man, let's do it. They'll either come to you with an objection or a smoke screen, and that's what we're going to get into now. So phase 2 is objection handling. Now, objection handling is a natural part of the sales process, but the number one best way to handle objections is always going to be objection prevention. So there's spousal objections where they talk about, oh, I need to speak to my wife or this or that. You can prevent that objection. And you do that by asking at the start of the call, hey brother, is this just you involved in the decision making? Do you have a partner or any family members that would change your decision or be a part of this decision? No, man, it's just me. Or if they say that their partner would be involved, you say, oh, perfect, bro. Okay, well, just because they're part of the decision as well, I want to make sure you guys can make this decision together. Let's reschedule and let's make sure that she's here as well. The best form of objection handling is objection prevention. Now, whenever you get an objection, what I like to do is called looping. So whether they give you a price objection and they tell you, hey, I really want to get started, but it's just too expensive. You know, I just don't want to part with that amount of money. All I do is loop back. So I say, okay, bro, I understand like it can be daunting to have to invest in yourself, especially when you've worked so hard for that money, right? But everything I went over, everything I told you that we can deliver to you, do you feel like that's actually going to help you get to where you want to be? Yeah, man, 100%. Like it would definitely help me. That's what I need. Okay, bro. And from your point of view, from your side, do you feel like you're going to actually be able to be committed and do the things that you need to do to make this work? Yeah, man, like there's no lack of commitment. I'm ready to do this. Okay, bro. So if you feel like what we have is exactly what you need and you feel like you're going to put the work in to make it work, then where's the gap? And they're going to say, I mean, I guess I'm just scared to invest that money. Now you've taken away the smoke screen of it too much and you've identified it as a fear objection. Now, once it's a fear objection, it's your job to work with the prospect to overcome that fear. How I would do that is by going like something like this. Okay, bro, so you've spent X amount of time saving this money and you don't want to part with that money because you've worked so hard for it, right? But let me ask you, have you built up that money and set that money aside to stay in this situation that you told me that you can't stand to be in? Have you saved that money to just remain in the same place for the next 3 years? Or have you set that money aside so that you can invest it in yourself, so that you can invest it in your knowledge, so that you can live a better life? I set it aside so I could better my life. Exactly, man. So with that being said, do you want to do that? Do you really want to do that? And send the peas, brev. And then you collect cash. Now, one of the most common objections is the think about it objection. Now, I want you guys to understand that this is not a real objection. Whenever someone says they need to think about it, it is definitely a smokescreen. No one needs to think about anything. If you speak to someone for an hour or two, they do not need to think about anything. It is something else. So it is your job to identify what the true objection is. When someone says, I need to think about it, the best thing that you can do is once again, loop back. Okay, bro, truthfully, like I said, the main thing is that, do you feel like everything that I kind of went over makes sense? Do you think if you had those things that you would be able to get to where you want to be? Yes, sir. Okay, and do you feel like you're going to put the work in? Yes. Okay, so with that being said then, where do you think the gap is? Oh, I just feel like I need time to think about it, like it's a lot of money, XYZ. Okay. Truthfully, bro, like we don't need time to make decisions. We need information to make decisions. And me being here right now is your biggest source of information. So if there's anything that you need to think about, let's talk about it now. Because this is the most information that you're ever going to have access to. And you're in the best position right now with me here to be able to make a decision. So what do you feel like is that gap? Or what do you feel like needs to happen in order for you to actually take that step? Always dig deeper. This goes throughout the entire call. You should always be digging into the answers that people are giving you. And then once you've dropped price and you've overcome any potential objections that were there, you should be in a position where you can now send them the link and collect the cash. Now, when you do this, there'll probably be some agreements, and it really depends on what the offer that you're on and how they want you to take payment and things like that. So I'll leave that to you guys to find out for yourself, how your collection process goes and what people need to sign. But that's pretty much it. That's how you sell. Now, the number one thing when it comes to mastering sales is, like I said, being in a training group, being able to role play with people, being able to have someone watch your calls back and tell you what you're doing well, tell you what you're doing wrong. I remember clearly the one time when I first hit my 10K month, it was a specific training where the number one thing I always struggled with was objection handling. I actually got on a call with one of the sales trainers at the time. He basically identified what I was doing wrong in my objection handling process. He told me how to fix it, and then I instantly started making more money. So it is incredibly important to have people training you. It is incredibly important to have other people around you. So as a sales rep, find a training group, and your offer might become your training group. Like most offers actually have other people. They have sales trainers, they have a sales community inside them, but definitely find a sales training group, find a community, find someone that's going to train you and make you a better closer so that you're actually able to scale your income. Now, step 4 is just being a closer. So it's up to you how long you're a closer for. You can be a closer for your whole life if you really want to. But once again, the issue that I said with closing is that your income is still directly tied to your time. So with that being the case, you are going to always kind of be tied down to not having complete time freedom. Life as a closer is good. You get to speak to people. You get really, really articulate. You understand human psychology really well, and you can make quite a lot of money. So I really enjoy closing. I recommend it to people, and life as a closer is good. Now, as a closer, there's so many different things that you can do. Some people like setting up a certain period of their day to close. I personally would close from like 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night. I really wanted to make as much money as possible. Now, as a closer, and as everything else we're going to talk about, the number one thing I want you guys to remember is that everything is a numbers game. The more calls you take, the better you're going to get. The more videos you post, the more money you're going to make. So with closing, the more calls you're on, the more role plays you're doing, the more training you're taking, the better you are going to get. So remember to always do. If you're going to be a sales rep, I would recommend you taking as many calls as you can, especially in the beginning, so that you get better and you develop the skill faster, and also have those calls be reviewed. Train, learn, be around the right people, and enjoy being a closer. Now through this, I hope I've given you guys enough knowledge and enough understanding about appointment setting and about closing, so that you guys can go ahead and become a setter or a closer and actually get into the high ticket sales space, because that was the very first thing that allowed me to get out of my job and start to enjoy some level of freedom. However, it was not the end. It is not where I stopped, because there was obviously more to grow. I wanted to hit really big numbers, and I really wanted to expand my skill set and get complete time freedom. So that summarizes the high ticket sales portion of this. Now let's get into the fun stuff. Personal branding. You've probably heard this term thrown around a lot lately. And let me tell you, you might not realize this right now, but this is what everybody is going all in on. Eamon Gadzhi, Luke Belmar, Andrew Tate, every single person that you see online that you follow, you do that and you see them because they have a personal brand. It is a super important aspect of online business now. It wasn't something that existed in the past, but now it is literally the fundamental basis of what the richest people in the world are going to share. Because where attention goes, money flows, and that is the fundamental reason we are going to start a personal brand. The more attention that you have, the more money that you're going to make. This is even relevant in the high ticket sales space. If you have a client who gets millions of views every day, think about how many leads you're going to have compared to a client with 2,000 followers that has no lead flow. Now, a personal brand isn't just what people see. It's not just having cool photos on the internet. It is how people feel about you. It's about the impact that you have on people's lives. Do you provide them with value? Do you provide them with entertainment? Do you do anything to improve this person's life? And that is a fundamental core of my personal brand, is I want to create content that shifts perspectives and changes lives, because by doing this you build such a real connection with your audience, because you're literally improving their lives. Now, there's personal brands out there that don't necessarily improve people's lives. Personal brands where it's just strictly entertainment, there is an argument to be made that those personal brands do more harm than good. They become just a distraction from real life. Whereas I want a personal brand that literally improves your life. And that is my goal with this video here today, to allow you to do everything that I've done and much, much more, by providing you all the knowledge and all the information that I know for free, so that you can go ahead and do everything that I've done yourself for free. Now, pretty much all of my opportunities, all of my income, all of my connections have come from having a cool personal brand. If I told you the amount of people that I've connected with just by having a cool personal brand and just by posting content. I've connected with people in the States, in Europe, in Dubai, everywhere, just by simply posting cool videos. If you can make good content, people are going to fuck with that and they're going to reach out to you. I've made some really, really amazing connections. I've met some amazing people just by having a cool personal brand. So your personal brand in today's environment is basically your resume, but it's not your resume to people to work with, it's your resume to everyone. Your personal brand is your digital handshake. It's basically how you get to know people that you don't know. And the thing about your personal brand now is it's not really a negotiable. It's kind of a non-negotiable. If you do not have a personal brand, you are a nobody. You don't really exist. If you're anonymous on social media, nobody cares about you. Nobody knows about you. And I don't want you guys to go through life like that. I want you guys to be someone. So start building your personal brand. If you're posting and you're building your personal brand and you're becoming a familiar face, you are now building a level of value for free. Remember, anyone can pick this up and start posting videos, and I'm not going to hear any fucking excuses, because I've heard them all. I've heard all the things that people tell me. Oh, I'm scared to post. I don't want to post. Bruv, you can pick up your fucking phone and film. So anybody can start a personal brand, and it is an asset that will literally feed you for the rest of your life. Not just feed you financially, but it will feed you with your relationships, your connections, your network, and literally everything in your life. You allow yourself to go from a nobody to someone that is known, liked, and trusted by many, many people. Opportunities will start to come to you. Clients will start to come to you. Partnerships will start to come to you. You now start to attract all the things that you want, rather than having to go out and beg for them or find them. But let's be very clear about something. Building a personal brand isn't about acting like someone you're not. It's about being your authentic self and conveying that to the world. People can smell inauthenticity from a mile away. They don't want someone that's perfect. They want someone that's real. They want someone that they can connect with. And the biggest mistake I see is people come into money and they have an idea of how they're supposed to act. And then what you end up with is a bunch of entrepreneurs or people online that are just carbon copies of each other. People can't relate to that. They want someone that they can relate to. And by remaining the same person that you are, even after the money and after the success and after any type of clout, you become way more interesting, because people don't remain themselves. People aren't authentic. So be authentic. Post videos. Do what you know you're supposed to do. And when I say be authentic, I mean literally learn how to press record on the camera and just be your fucking self, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm not acting any different right now than how I act with my homies. And that is the main thing. If you can do that, people are going to be way more receptive to your content. People can relate to your story. So this means actually telling the truth, sharing your wins, sharing your losses. When I have a good week, I tell you. When I have a shit week, I tell you. Because it's not just about the wins, it's about everything that's going on in your life. And I guarantee you, a lot of the times when you talk about the more negative stuff, you talk about the bullshit going on in your life. That's what people relate to. So at its core, a personal brand is just a brand that you build around yourself online. And you just do that by posting content and putting yourself out there. Now, pretty much the number one objection I get to building a personal brand is people saying that I don't want to post my face. I don't actually want to post content, which is fine. But just understand that you are going to be a nobody for life. You can still make money without posting your face, but it is better to be known and hated than to not be known at all, in my opinion. Now, you don't have to build a personal brand, but I think you're a bit of a pussy if you don't want to post content for simply being too scared to. If you're worried about what other people think about you, you're just never going to be thought about at all. Now, when I first started posting content, I was kind of scared. I was like, fuck, people are going to see this. I wonder what they're going to think, XYZ. I didn't want my friends, my family, my colleagues to know that I was posting content, and I had teachers send me my content. I had so many people, I had old people I work with talk shit. Everyone was talking. But the thing that you guys need to understand is once you do the thing and you kill it, these are the same people that just become obsessed with you. But this is what comes with actually chasing something bigger and actually trying to do something with your life. People get to have opinions on it, and that's fine. People can say negative things, but I guarantee you, when your mum is good, when your mum's got a house, when she's got a car, when your family is good, when you can do whatever you want, when you can provide for your family at a young age, when you can do literally whatever the fuck you want and live life exactly how you want it. What anyone else thinks is not going to matter at all. I promise you. Now let me tell you how I overcome this fear in the beginning, because I was scared to post content and all I had to do was a very simple process. When we go back to talking about vision, and I talked about, think of the type of person that you want to be. Paint a vision of yourself in your head. Who do you want to be a year from now? I wanted to be a big influencer. I wanted to have millions of followers. I tried to adopt the identity of that person before I even posted a piece of content. And when I was sitting there scared to post content, all I thought was, does the version of myself with 1 million followers, $1 million, everything that he wants in life, does he care about what other people think? Is he scared to post content? And the answer was no. And that was who I wanted to be. So if that's the case, if that's who I wanted to be, and I genuinely felt like I deserved to be that person, I better start acting like that person today. So then I started posting content, and here we are. I'm becoming that person. So gang. Another thing that people get twisted is they think people care about them. No one gives a fuck about you. Yes, people are going to talk shit. These are people that have literally nothing better to do. If you care about what people that have nothing better to do than talk about you, then you're retarded in the first place. So no one cares as much as you think. You care the most about yourself. You care about yourself more than anyone else does. So start posting, do what you want to do, build your brand. And it's very easy to think about all the negative that could come with posting, but people don't necessarily think about all the positive that can come from posting. I guarantee you, I've had so many people message me and say, I've been able to make 2K just with the content that you put up for free. People have drastically improved their lives by the content that I've posted, let alone the people that have actually been coached by me personally. Think about all the good that could come from your content. Imagine you're posting content, documenting your journey, providing so much value to these people that you're literally changing lives. Build for the ones that matter. And here's the truth. You don't need millions of followers. I was making 50K a month with like 10,000 followers. One of the people that actually brought it into our academy, Conrad, only had 2,000 followers on Instagram, and he made 10,000 US in a week. So you don't need a lot of followers. You need the right followers. You need people that resonate with you and your story and your mission. And the only way to attract those people is by constantly showing up, constantly posting videos, constantly providing value. And value doesn't mean you need to be a world-class expert. Value just means that you're actually giving them something that's improving the quality of their life. Because those are the people that are going to genuinely like, know, and trust you. A lot of people say, I don't know what to post content about. I haven't done anything. Start doing something. Undergo a transformation of your own. Document that transformation. Talk about it. And even if you're only at step 3, you can still teach someone who's at step 1. So you always have value to provide. You always have a story to tell. And the platforms that you use are your stage. So Instagram is really good for posting good viral short form content. It's good for basically with your stories, creating a TV show of your life and showing them behind the scenes. YouTube, for example, is a really good way to document and also provide a ton of value because it's one of the places where you can sit down and drop gems and drop game for 3-4 hours. TikTok is the wild card where you can post anything and something random will go viral. But understand that these are basically endless lottery tickets. You can post on social media as many times as you want. You have endless lottery tickets, and every time you post, it might not go viral, but every time you post, there is a chance that that post will change your life. So seriously ask yourself, if there was endless lottery tickets and they were free and I could buy them every single day, how many would I do? Would you do one and give up? Or would you just keep going until you won? And that's how you need to look at content. Another thing that I hear people say is, I want to start, but I can't make stuff like you. Do you think I make stuff like me? I did it by being really shit in the beginning and doing it and get better at the thing. So you can't be a perfectionist, especially in the beginning with content. It really is quantity, and that quantity creates the quality. So focus in the beginning on getting numbers up. Start posting 3 times a day, and I guarantee you within the next 3 months, you'll be way better at content. So don't try to be a perfectionist. Don't wait for the perfect time to start. Just start posting. Start posting today. And this is a challenge to every single one of you. If you're serious and you're still watching this video, first of all, congratulations, because it's been going fucking ages. But second of all, if you're still watching this video, ask yourself, do you really think you're going to become that version of yourself that you have in your head? Does that person wait? Or does that person pause this video, come up with a video idea, film the video idea, and post it on social media right now. The ones of you that have actually posted a video by the time you're finished watching this video are 100% going to be the ones that actually go on to make a fuckload of money. You're going to be the ones that go on to actually be successful because you take action, because you're not held back by the opinions of other people. So if you've posted a video by the time this video is done, congratulations, welcome to the team. If you're afraid of looking stupid, just ask yourself, what's scarier? Trying and failing, or never trying and then spending the rest of your life wondering what would have happened if you had just posted that video? I promise you that the hardest part is just getting over that discomfort of posting that first video, but once you've done that, it becomes a lot easier, and then you get good, and then it becomes fun. So start posting. I want you to start today, not tomorrow, not the next day. Now, tell your story, document your day, share a lesson, provide value, whatever it is for you, do that. Do it now. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be you. Over time, you'll find your voice, you'll find your niche, you'll find your people, and you'll be able to grow. Your brand isn't built overnight. It's brick by being consistent every single day. Now, I've mentioned storytelling, I've mentioned documentation, I've mentioned value, and now I'm going to get into the actual actionable steps on how you build a personal brand. And we're going to talk about content creation. Now, when it comes to content creation, this is where a lot of people start to fall apart and really stress out. But truthfully, content can be so simple. We want to make sure that we're creating the type of content where we're building a genuine connection with our audience, where they know us, where they like us, where they trust us. That's the sort of content that builds your personal brand into something that people come back to. You want to make sure that when you're making content, you're giving the person that is consuming that content a good experience. And I get it, content creation can be overwhelming. You might be thinking, what do I post? Who's even going to watch it? Who am I posting this for? But like I said, with content creation, it's literally a numbers game. The more you do it, just like sales, the better you're going to get. So you need to just start posting today. Now, from my experience of doing content for like over a year now, this is what you focus on. This is the styles of content that you focus on if you want to build a real, genuine personal brand. The first style that anyone can do today. A lot of times people will say things like, I haven't done anything yet. I don't know what to make content on. The number one thing that anyone can do today, just by starting, is documentation. So a documentation style of content is, for example, things like vlogs, things like day one, road to 100K, road to 10K a month. These are documentation styles of videos. It doesn't matter if you haven't done anything. You can document your journey. And this is what I wish I had done when I was in sales. Wish I had documented my journey in sales. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play a example right now of a documentation style of content.
You give me coffee and some nicotine, and I'm quite literally ready to fuck the day.
Fuck up, cunt. You don't fuck all today.
Fuck up. You're literally Central C from Wish.
Oh, alright.
Hey! I want to make $100,000 in a month. That's 3.3K a day, and today we made $0.
Today, I've actually made $4.5 grand. But it's also Piff Buffalo downstairs.
Actually?
No.
Beautiful ass shit, bro. More beautiful than my fucking ex-girlfriend, that's for sure. You fuckers tomorrow.
Documentation is such a strong style of content because you're literally just showing the person into your life. Invite the viewer into your world. It's a laid back style of content where you don't really need to ideate anything. You don't need to come up with ideas. You literally just press record on the camera and go about your day, and people are really going to enjoy it. I don't know why it's such a strong style of content, but anyone can do this today. So start vlogging, start doing daily vlogs, start inviting your viewers into your world. And if you can provide value in these vlogs, it's even better. If I was genuinely in your situation and I wanted to scale my personal brand as quickly as possible, I would start posting daily vlogs. One vlog every day, just showing what you're doing, showing what you're working on, showing what you're focused on. This will really help scale your personal brand and build a relationship with your audience. The second strongest style of content, and what I believe actually builds more of a relationship, is storytelling. I make almost $500,000 a year at 23 years old. I travel the world and I pretty much have the freedom to do whatever I want. But it definitely didn't start this way. 2 years ago, I was waking up at 5 a.m. to drive to the city to work in a skyscraper putting in suspended ceilings for a commercial construction company. I would work all day, get home late, and have no time to do what I actually wanted to do. I was living a very average, boring, repetitive life. I was discontent. I could not stand living like this. I literally hated my life, but that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because that discontentment was the catalyst for change. When you can't stand your situation, you need to change. I started aggressively self-educating myself. I taught myself about money, finance, banking, how the system worked, and how to actually make money. I learned that in order to make lots of money, you need to be in high demand, you need to be the best at what you do, and you need to be irreplaceable. So I started to learn high value, high income skills and make myself valuable. And this ended up completely changing my life. Over the next 2 years, I quit my job, I scaled to $50,000 a month, and I traveled the world, all while helping countless other people do the exact same. If you want to be next, comment skills and I'll send you my completely free training. Now, documentation is inviting the person into your current life, but a really, really strong way of building a relationship and conveying a message is by doing storytelling content. This is where you're talking about things that have happened in your life that are meaningful to you. This can be a story about how you left your job. This can be a story about something that literally happened to you that day if you took a lesson from it. Now, you tell good stories by giving a hook and then revealing different pieces of the story throughout the piece of content. Other styles of content, especially when it comes to YouTube, are things like search engine optimization. YouTube is a search engine, so creating videos with the keywords in the title are going to allow you to reach a large population. Personally, I use vidIQ and I see what keywords are trending and I'll use those keywords in my videos. This is for more so when it comes to training and tutorial style of content, because you can actually target your exact audience by putting that keyword in your title. For example, if I wanted to get people that want to get into sales, I would make a video called How I Got Into Remote Sales. And the final style of content is just modeling. Now, this is probably one of the easiest ways to come up with ideas that are proven and that will go viral. And all modeling is pretty much just following and digesting and consuming a bunch of content from creators that you actually like watching. And when you do this, you'll basically get a big catalog, save videos, and don't steal these videos word for word, bar for bar, but you can take inspiration from the videos, look at their hooks, look at their bodies, look at how it's shot, figure out what made it perform well, and then figure out how you can do that yourself. And it's very, very likely if a video's got 3 million views for someone else, and if you recreate that in your own way, that'll also go viral for you. So this is one of the strongest ways to scale your account and scale your personal brand, is by modeling off other people's success. Now, those are the few different styles of content that you can focus on. And then once you're doing that and you're posting these styles of content consistently, let's talk about consistency, because this is where the long game comes into play. You want to build something long term. You want to build a personal brand that's going to last you for the rest of your life. So you need to be posting consistently. You're not going to post one video and become an overnight success. Don't let anyone tell you that's how it works. But every piece of content that you post is laying a brick, is laying a foundation for your future. Some are going to flop, some are going to go viral. But what you do by posting content is you give yourself a feedback loop. And over time, you get a big enough feedback loop, you get a big enough lot of data to understand my audience really likes this type of content. When I post this, it goes viral. When I post this, it flops. Then you get to a point where you just post the stuff that goes viral. Then you have a viral account and you have a huge personal brand. A really important thing with content is to not focus on the numbers. If you're focused on the likes or the views, you're going to get discouraged when they're not there. You need to be focused on the input. How can I post the best possible video that I can post today? Focus on that every single day. Don't focus on the numbers. Don't focus on the results, unless you're doing it as a way to optimize and make content that your audience likes. Now, when it comes to where you want to post, I would say the main two places and the main two platforms would be Instagram and YouTube. TikTok was really, really good in the past. It's not that good anymore. But if you want me to tell you what to post on, I would say Instagram first, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. These are probably the 4 most important platforms. Post on these 4 consistently and you'll have a really, really good omnipresent audience. And that's the main thing, is being omnipresent. If you're just popping on Instagram and your Instagram gets deleted, now you're all of a sudden a nobody again. So make sure that as you post on Instagram, you send those people to your YouTube. That's probably how you're here right now. Post 1 to 3 pieces of content every single day on short form like Reels, Shorts, and TikTok. So if I'm you right now and you're still working full time, what I would do is I'd start posting 1 single short form video every single day, and I would be trying to also post at least 2 to 3 long form pieces of content on YouTube and Twitter every single day. That's my posting schedule for you guys. Start doing it. That is my challenge to you. Start posting, stick to that content strategy, 1 video a day for the next 90 days. I guarantee you your life will change, those of you who actually take action on that. Now, if you know anything about appointment setting or personal branding or closing, you would know what digital products are. But let me explain exactly what digital products are, the different types of digital products that there are, and why they are like by far the best possible business model that we have. So digital products are literally anything that you can sell online that isn't a physical product, right? So this can be things like digital planners, it can be things like coaching, consulting, mentorship on the more high ticket end of stuff, or it can be like gaming skins, digital goods, like anything that is digital that costs money is a digital product. And as it pertains to my knowledge and what we're talking about right here, the main types of digital products that we're going to be talking about, there is low ticket things like digital planners and guides and ebooks, which you can find on Etsy, that have private label rights where you can redesign them and sell them at your own price, which is more so like digital drop shipping. And then there's also the high ticket side of things, which is coaching, consulting, mentorships, communities, where instead of something that's like $30, it's now 10, 20, 30K. And that's where you start to make real money. I definitely recommend going high ticket. It is by far the best type of digital product. It is a digital product that's going to allow you to make the most type of money, the most amount of money. Digital products are pretty much the one thing that allow me to scale really aggressively. And the reason this is because there's no shipping, there's no warehouses, there's no inventory. It's just pure scalability, because you can make something once, you can sell it infinite times at any price. And as we were speaking about before, this is where you actually start to build true freedom. You build time freedom, location freedom, and this is something that will actually allow you to make money while you sleep. Now, it's not completely passive because you have to post content and get eyeballs on your stuff, but this is where I started to actually get real freedom. So the reason digital products are a game changer is because you've really almost got no overhead. You can post content for free and make sales once you've created the product once, and literally just make profit for the rest of your life. There's no overhead, and the difference between this and a physical product where you're losing 70% and you're keeping 30% profit, with digital products, because you make them once and you can sell them infinite times, you're keeping 80 to 100% profit margins on digital products. And the scalability is insane, because whether you sell one or you sell 10,000, the fulfillment stays the same. You're still delivering the same thing. So it really doesn't change regardless of how far you scale. And not only that, but when you have a digital product and it gets really good results, you're establishing yourself as an expert. You're establishing yourself as an authority, because who can charge thousands of dollars for their information? Someone that knows information, right? So even the credibility that comes with selling a digital product is insane. And obviously the main cherry on top, which is going to attract most people, is going to be the passive aspect. The fact that as soon as you set this up, you can pretty much make money, whether you're in a completely different country, whether you're sleeping, as long as you're posting content. Now, when it comes to what digital product you should sell, this is completely up to you. I don't want to push you into anything, but I'm going to tell you the different kind of options that you have. You have your low ticket options, which are things like digital planners, ebooks, guides, fitness plans, any sort of cookbook or anything of this nature. So if you have expertise in one of these areas, or you feel like you could post good content around one of these topics, you could definitely go to Etsy, buy that thing with private label rights. What I'll do right now is I'm just going to run you guys through like a quick breakdown of what that would actually look like, me doing that. So if you just go to Etsy and you search up PLR, that's all you need to search up. It's going to give you a bunch of different products. They got faceless videos, page, parent, a lot of it is like Instagram stuff, 3 million digital plus products. What I would do is I would go to explodingtopics.com, and then I would go here, and it's going to give you a bunch of stuff that is trending, right? So you could go to any of these and you could then create a product around that. One that I did on my Instagram, because basically if you go to my Instagram, you'll see that there is just like hella different examples of stuff you can use. One of them was a carnivore diet. So you could go here and all you need to do is go carnivore PLR. Now you have different cookbooks with private label rights, meaning you can literally buy these, redesign them with AI or Canva and sell them as your own. It doesn't have to be just that. It can be baby PLR. There's endless examples of different things that you can do with this. Then all you do is go to Shopify, you buy the product on Etsy, then you come here into Shopify, and all you need to do is go products. See, I've already done one here. Come here, you add the title, you add the photo, you do a description, drop the media here, redesign it obviously so it looks new, it looks good. Set your price, and then you just press publish, and you can literally set up a store that easily, that simply, with a product that will allow you to print endlessly. As long as you market it and do it correctly and do the content creation side of things correctly, you're good. Remember, your product really needs to solve a problem, because people don't buy products, they buy solutions to their problems and something that's going to get them to where they want to be. So if you do want to do like the Etsy low end side of stuff, and that's what you want to focus on in order to get your money up to potentially do something high ticket like what I do, then that is what I would do. I would focus on something that is trending, something that is a problem that people need solved, and I would go about doing that. If you're a graphic designer, let's say people need a killer Instagram template, your product idea could be 100 Instagram templates. Entrepreneur pack, it's valuable, it's simple, and you just set that up on Shopify and sell it for $5, and you can sell it infinite times. Now you might be wondering like what you should price your stuff at, how much should it actually cost? To be honest, if you're selling something low ticket, it should probably be between like $10 to $100. It should probably be at like a $30, 40, 50% markup of the original price. But like I said, I definitely recommend staying high ticket. The issue with high ticket products is just like with the private label rights on the low ticket, a lot of times you actually have to invest in the product yourself. That can be an issue if you do not have lots of money set aside. But that aside, if you want to start your own digital product that's high ticket, you want to do coaching, consulting around something that you have expertise in, definitely go ahead and do that. And just remember that your pricing should reflect what you're delivering. When you have a high ticket offer, it needs to actually be worth a high ticket investment. If you're selling something for $5,000, that person better be getting $5,000 worth of value from that offer. Now, as you guys probably know, creating the product is only half the problem. If you've got a high ticket product, if you found a good product on Etsy, you've got the product. The hard part now is actually selling it and getting sales, right? And that, once again, is going to come back to your content creation. If your content is good, go back to the content creation module, study that, figure out how you're going to post good, consistent content around your specific niche. That's what's going to make you sales. So have your store clean, have everything clean, have your product actually valuable and good, and then just focus on creating the best possible content that provides value and actually makes someone want to invest in your product. The best way to do this is by giving away value and giving away really valuable tips. Adam Sullivan is someone who makes valuable, educational, entertaining content around fitness stuff, and he sells a fitness plan. Carnivore Aurelius is an Instagram page with almost 1 million followers, and he sells physical products, but his content is very educational and interesting around nutrition and diet. So these are examples of, one, a personal brand, and two, a faceless personal brand that you can look to for inspiration around what type of content you should be posting. Now remember, there is a saying in our space that someone needs to watch 7 hours of content before they actually invest in your product. Don't be discouraged if it's taking a while to make sales. Don't be discouraged if people aren't buying straight away, because people do not buy straight away. Have you ever found something and been like, let me invest thousands of dollars in this with only seeing 2 videos? It's probably unlikely, right? You study first, you understand, and then once you get to a point where your understanding is good enough, then you invest. So remember this. And remember, don't be pushy, be professional. Provide as much value, storytell, create content, document, talk about your product, talk about your journey, and then people will buy if they want to buy. But don't try to force it down people's throats. Then when it comes to scaling, you can create a funnel. So an example of what a funnel looks like is someone might have a free school community, but inside that free school community, they also have a paid community. So now you start to funnel people into stuff that is paid. This is the same for low ticket products. You might have an ebook, but in that ebook, you talk about your coaching, and now people start to actually want more value. So what it looks like in reality is the top of the funnel is just like your free, valuable educational content. Then that goes into a cheap or free community or piece of information like a guide or an ebook. Then in that, you talk about your coaching or your mentorship, and you have different levers and different layers to your offer where you provide different amounts of value depending on how much you're charging. Now remember, once again, just like with content, your product isn't going to be perfect when you first start, but you need to start in order to make it better. As you do it, you'll figure out what people like, what people don't like, and what you need to do in order to make a better product. When it comes to getting your digital product, if you guys are wondering what my digital product is, it is our academy. So ABC is the academy that I joined. That is my digital product. It is a high ticket digital product and is the best digital product that is out there. So if you guys want to join that, like I said, there will be a link in the description below to book in a call. Only book in if you're serious about transforming your life, because it's not like anything else out there. There is intensive training that is going to allow you to get results like I have relatively quickly. So that's the digital product I sell. I've never actually sold anything low ticket myself, but I do want to allow you guys to be able to get started with less than a high ticket investment, if that makes sense. So that's all for digital products. Understand once again that there's no perfect time to start. You're never going to find the perfect thing or have the perfect idea hit you in the face. You got to go out, you got to find it, you got to get started. That is the main thing. Now, when I say become the business, what I mean is you are now going to combine all of your skill sets, right? You know how to set appointments, you know how to sell, you've built your personal brand, you understand content creation, you understand how to sell an offer, you understand everything that you need in order to literally become the business. So what we're going to do now is we're going to combine all these skill sets, and combining all these skill sets are going to allow us to never rely on anyone else for our income. We are now a self-reliant, self-sustained business based on the skills that we've acquired. You're not some cog in a machine anymore. You're not someone that's rocking up to a job anymore. You are the machine. What do you bring to the table? I am the fucking table. At this point, you control everything. Everything's on your back, which means you have to show up every day and you have to do the work. But it also means you are now completely free. But understand that your mindset has to shift. You're no longer doing meaningless tasks. You have something to sell, which is your knowledge and your information and your experience and your expertise that you have in your head. You know how to sell it. You understand sales. You can build a sales team. You can train sales reps. You understand what the sales process is. You understand how to get calls booked. You understand how to get people on calls. You understand how to close those calls. You can build teams around this. You can build a content team. You build a team of editors editors, a team of creative directors. Now you have everything to live the rest of your life in complete freedom because you've got all the skill sets. You understand how to market, you understand how to get customers, you understand how to create content. I've just equipped you with every single thing that you need to become the business and make money in perpetuity. Part of becoming the business is accepting accountability for everything. Because you understand everything, because you have all the skills, this means when something goes wrong, it's not your team's fault, it's not your setter's fault, you're the leader. It's your fault. You need to lead, you need to become a leader. If you're going to become the business, you need to become the leader. You need to be able to lead people, build teams, hire the right people, get the right people around you. This is how you truly scale. So when I talk about becoming the business, I talk about combining all your skill sets, building teams, which is a skill set in itself, is being able to build teams around your skills, convey your skills, teach your skills, build a product where you provide all your knowledge and all your information to people, and you provide your expertise to people to get them results. And also remember that you cannot be a leader, you cannot pour from an empty cup if you cannot do the thing yourself. There's so many people that want to have setters and want to have closers, but you don't know how to train closers. You've never been a closer. So understand that you learn the skills, then you teach the skills. Another main thing in becoming the business is understanding that you need to shift from hustler mindset to boss mindset. The hustling and the grinding that got you to 10K a month isn't going to get you to 100K a month. It's going to be getting the right people in the right places, using your skills to build teams, build systems, and go from hustler to boss. You need to hold yourself accountable because you can't hold your team accountable if you don't hold yourself accountable. Combine your skills, become the business, sell an offer, and scale. So you've been hustling hard and you've probably got some good results by now. Systems and scaling really only comes after you're doing consistent 10 to 20K months. In my personal journey, I got to about $50,000 a month without any systems. So what I realized is that I would actually start to plateau and actually go backwards until I started to put these things in place and I started to build systems and build teams. So really the rest of this video, I would say, is for the more advanced people. If you're already at 10K a month and you're looking to scale beyond that, this is what this part of the video is for. So now let's talk about, you're at 10K a month, you're at 20K a month. How are we going to get you to 100K a month? This is where we shift from hustler to boss, like I was talking about, because systems are what separates the hustlers from the business owners. Systems are what take you from being a one-man show to running an operation with multiple people that runs smoothly like a machine that makes cash. And we need to make sure that the operation isn't just running or just surviving, but we need to make sure that it's growing and it's expanding and it's scaling quickly. So step one is to start documenting and tracking everything you do. It's very hard to look back on your data and optimize to grow if you're not actually recording your data. So document everything you do, set up tracking sheets on Excel, and actually build out systems where you track how many videos you post, how many leads you got, how many closes you got, how many times you sold your product, how many eyeballs, how many accounts interacted with your staff, because then you can start to actually look back at this information and be like, this week I posted this style of content and we didn't get any closes, and then the next week I posted this style of content and we doubled our close rate. We did this thing in the setting process and it ended up with a lot less book calls, so then we went back to this and then we ended up with a bunch more book calls. The more you track, the more you're going to be able to optimize and change and optimize things going forward. Now, a really powerful thing to do when you're documenting this stuff and you're building systems is create a massive sheet of Loom videos. So record Loom videos of every time you do something, for your onboarding process, for your editing process. If you record Loom videos for everything, you put it in a sheet and you title it. Now, whenever you're onboarding a new employee, whenever you're getting a new editor, whenever you're trying to explain to someone the sales process, you just send them the Loom video where you've already done the thing, so that they can just watch this instead of you having to try to explain it all. What you should basically have by the end of this is a complete notebook of videos where you can provide it to a brand new person and they'll be able to understand exactly how to do anything that they need to know how to do. And it'll take time to build this out, but once you've got it out, it's just something that's going to work for you forever. It's not about perfection. It's about creating a starting point. Documentation and tracking equals delegation. Nothing is now on you where you have to be there present constantly. This is how you get freedom. Step 2 is to automate and delegate. With every task inside your business, ask yourself these two questions. Can I automate this? Can I delegate this? Automation is your first line of defense against burnout. Tools like Calendly for booking calls, email automation for client onboarding, or even using Zapier to link repetitive tasks. Automation is where you can kind of use systems and AI to do things for you that don't need to be done by a human. Delegation is, once again, when it comes back to hires. Can someone else do this? Can I pay a VA or someone else to do this task for me? For example, replying to comments is something that I need to do thousands of a day. So I have a VA that does that for me because I can't be replying to my own comments every single day. Once again, if you're hiring someone to do a task for you, having a Loom video of you doing the task and explaining how to do it is going to be super, super useful. And the biggest reason we focus on delegation is because your time is now precious. It's a resource and you need to be able to use that time effectively. So anything that is not a correct use of your time, you need to value your time at $500 an hour. What you're doing in that hour isn't generating you $500. Outsource it, get someone else to do it. And especially now that you're making money, you should be outsourcing most things. You should wake up every day and just focus on what moves the needle forward. Step 3 is optimize your lead flow, because scaling isn't just about more clients and playing with systems, but it's about actually figuring out how you can generate more and more leads every single day. It's about attracting them without actually lifting up a finger. If you're still relying on outreach and things like that, you're cooked. So build funnels, make a sustainable content strategy, something that you can do every single day and it doesn't take hours and hours and hours. The other option is obviously setting up ads. It's not something that I've done yet because I'm getting crazy organic reach, but ads are another way to actually scale beyond that once you've got the resources there. And 3 is to just leverage your content. Figure out, how can I post X amount of content every single day without burning out or without spending 24 hours on it. And then step 4 is to scale what's already working. When it comes to scaling, there's a common mistake. People get shiny object syndrome. They start to get really, really good results with one thing, and then they want to start doing all these other things, and they want to launch 5 new offers. But remember what got you to the dance. You're really good at this thing. You built it up over time. Keep doubling down on that. Focus on how you can make that even better. If you've got an offer that's crushing it, pour gasoline on it, blow it up even more. Can you increase your prices? What can you do to make it more valuable so that you can increase your prices? Can you offer bonuses or upsells or more coaching? This is how you can scale an offer without pivoting. Step 6 is knowing when to pivot. Now, when it comes to using different systems, sometimes you outgrow them and you need to change. So also remember to be attentive to the systems that you're using and the strategies that you're using, because they might not always work forever. So also understand when you need to change and when you need to upgrade and optimize for different things. You made it. You're finally here. Success feels unreal, and there is nothing like that first taste of true freedom. Being in control of your own life and truly shifting from surviving to living to thriving. There's no feeling like that. But what nobody tells you is that that is just the beginning of the game. Understand that when you're in survival mode, you're simply just surviving. You're not actually playing the game of life. You're not actually being able to do things, experience new things. And now that you're actually intentionally playing the game and you're a first person character, this is where everything begins. This is where the struggle begins. This is where the fun begins. This is where everything starts. Success isn't the finish line. It's the starting gun. When I first started seeing good money, it was very difficult to keep the same level of hunger that I had as I was trying to reach my first $10,000 a month. Because once you're making 10K a month, everything after that is the same. Nothing really changes. You can buy nicer things, stay in nicer places, but you have the same level of freedom. So if your goal is freedom, nothing really changes at any different number. Complacency starts creeping in like a snake in the grass. You think you've made it, you think you've done the hard work, but you will very quickly lose it all if you truly believe that. Before you know it, you're left with nothing. You lose all your momentum. And once you lose your momentum, getting it back is 10 times harder. You're either in a upward spiral or a downward spiral. If you can get that upward spiral going, if you can get forwards momentum, you need to do everything in your power to maintain that. Because once you lose it, boy, is it hard to get back. There's one lesson that I've learned the hard way on my journey over the last 2 years, and that it is never take your foot off the gas. Never ease up, because to build that momentum back is nearly impossible. The way you sustain success over an extended period of time is by being obsessed with the process, being obsessed with growth. Every single day is a climb, and you need to fall in love with the climb. You need to fall in love with the grind, building growth. Because when you feel like you're at the top of the mountain, everyone is coming to the top of that mountain, and it isn't the only mountain. There's far bigger mountains that you need to get to the top of. Now, as you go on this journey and you reach a completely new level of success and a completely new level of freedom, it is very important to tie yourself back to what we spoke about in the very first module. The things that are going to keep you going once you have all the things that you want are going to be things like your vision, your why. These are the things that are going to keep you pushing. It's not going to be motivation. It's not even going to be discipline. It's going to be being absolutely obsessed with your vision and with achieving that. That is the only thing that is going to keep you going, because motivation is fleeting, discipline can even be fleeting. But when you are obsessed with actualizing your vision, it is an out-of-body experience. You are controlled by something externally that forces you to keep pushing forward regardless of your situation. Obsession is what separates you from everyone else. You need to be truly obsessed with your craft. The obsessed motherfuckers are always going to be the ones that win. You need to remain humble. You need to pray for humility, because if you get a big ego and you start to think you know everything and no one can teach you anything, then you stop growing. You always need to be the dumbest person in the room. You need to be surrounding yourself with people that are so much better than you that you're forced to grow and you're forced to learn and keep going. Be grateful for what you've been able to achieve and what God has put in your life, but never satisfied. As you go on this journey, I highly recommend you find your faith. Whatever it is for you, every single high-level entrepreneur that I have come across believes in some type of God. No atheist. It might be an IQ thing, but if you really want to test your faith in God, I truly believe there's no better way than entrepreneurship, because nothing is going to force you to trust in God's plan more than entrepreneurship, because there's ups, there's downs, and I highly suggest you guys find your faith, explore, learn, seek, and you shall find. I recently got baptized. It was the best decision I ever made. Keep God in your life as you go on this journey and as you find success, and it's super important to pray for humility and pray for guidance and pray for wisdom. Another thing to remember is that not everyone is your friend. I pretty much lost all my best friends from my previous life as I went on this journey, simply because they were not willing to do the work to come with me. And what my mentor explained to me is that as you grind and as you start working on yourself, you're going to put a gap between you and your friends. And as you establish this gap, they have to be the ones that close it. You cannot close it and go back down. So sometimes you don't realize how much someone is holding you back until you separate yourself and then you take off and they stay in the same place forever. Be ultra selective with who you're around and who your friends are, because this is going to determine your future. Like I said, I've pretty much lost all my friends from my previous life, and now all of my friends are ones that have value, that are doing the same thing as me, that are grinding, that are ambitious, that are driven, that are obsessed, because those are the people that you need around you to get to the top. And as you become successful, you need to understand and realize that your time is now worth more. You can't just be hanging out and chilling with anyone. You need to be very cautious of how you're spending your time, and you can't just go meet up with people for coffees. You need to value your time at $500 or more. If the task that you're doing in that hour does not bring you $500 worth of peace or $500 worth of money, then you can't go around and bullshit anymore. You need to be using your time effectively. And I guarantee you, as you become successful, everyone is going to want a piece of you. Everyone is going to want to speak to you. Everyone's going to want to catch up for a coffee, but you can't give your time to everyone if they do not deserve it. You need to protect your energy. Be around people that bring your energy up, that make you want to work harder, that make you want to go harder. Don't be around people that drag you down. This isn't just about money. It is about becoming the most actualized, best version of yourself, living the best possible life experience that you can live. And that includes your friend group, it includes your circle, it includes your health, it includes your interactions, your relationships, your freedom, everything. Invest in yourself, invest in your skills in a serious way. And I'm not just talking about money, I'm talking about invest your time in the right things. Please invest in yourself in a serious way, and I guarantee you, you will thank yourself. Invest in others too. As you get to this level of success, you really need to pivot from making yourself successful to making other people successful. Being a leader, being a thought leader, being able to motivate and inspire other people and get other people's success is really what's going to take you to that next level. And lastly, like I said, don't ever forget where you started. That hunger that you had when you were in the trenches, when you were going hard, you need to figure out how you're going to maintain that level of hunger at every different level of success. That hunger is what got you to where you are. Don't forget it. Remain humble, remain hungry, and remain obsessed. Alright, so we've covered a lot, and I hope you guys have been able to actually implement some of these things and get some results, but this is the most important part. This is the number one thing that actually helped me become successful. And this is probably the most important module that you're going to watch. I just dropped the entire blueprint step by step in your lap. I tried to make this course giving you guys every single thing you needed to actually take action, to get started, and to get some kind of results, whether it is with appointment setting, whether it's with digital dropshipping, whatever it's with. I wanted to provide you guys with something that would allow you to get results without having to invest in anything. But I want to be real with you for a second. None of this, none of my success, none of my content making ability, none of my sales ability, none of my vocabulary, none of my life would have been possible if I did not connect with a single person. If I didn't take the most important step of my life, which was finding my mentor. When I started, I had no idea what I was doing. Like I said, I tried to start a business and I failed. I was just some kid working in construction with no clear path, no clear direction, no idea what I was doing. Just the feeling that I was meant for more. But what I lacked was the path. I didn't know what path to walk down or what steps to take. And by far the best, smartest decision I ever made was to find someone who had walked the path that I wanted to walk and to learn from them. I ended up connecting with my mentor through a Facebook group. We got on a call. He closed me on him being my mentor. I ended up investing in my knowledge, in my education, and this guy single-handedly changed my entire life. This guy had 10 years of experience in the space. He told me about all the pitfalls, all the mistakes, all the different examples of successful people that he'd seen fail and succeed and why they did that. And like I said, it wasn't free, but just this one connection, just this one investment has made me almost $1 million just in the last 2 years. So looking back now, I would have paid 10, 20 times what I did. And like I said, you can try to figure it all out on your own. Please go ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. If you truly think that's the best path for you, go ahead and try it. And who knows, that shit might succeed, that shit might work. But just understand that 2 things might happen. You're way more likely to quit because you don't know how to overcome obstacles. And 2, you might end up spending an extra 3, 4, 5, 10 years doing it because you're trying to learn from your own trial and error and your own mistakes. And I am more than happy for you to go do that, but I'm telling you exactly what I did and how I got to where I am as quickly as I got here. And that's why me and my mentor built ABC Academy. And I want you guys to understand it's not just some community, it's not just some cause. This is the exact family, network, and community that I wish I had when I was starting out. Since we opened this community, this is what we've been able to do. Asher was able to generate over $350,000 in his first year. Nelson was able to make over $150,000 in his first 10 months. Cooper made over $150,000 in his first year. Reese hit his first 20k month just 6 months in. Tavita hit his first 10k week within his first month. Huddy hit his first 10k month within 2 months of being in the academy. And now why I say ABC is a family, not just a community, is because all of these guys I have met in real life. These are all people that I've built real life relationships with. I moved in with Nelson after meeting him in Dubai at an ABC meetup, and we lived and we worked and we trained and we grinded and we built together. And that's what I want you to understand. ABC isn't just a community or a place where you can go to learn skills. It is a family. You're actually going to meet people. You're actually going to make connections. I'm not the only person that's moved in with someone from this academy. We believe in building real life relationships and real life connections, and that's why every quarter we have a real life meetup. In a couple weeks, I'm going to Dubai again for our ABC meetup where I will be with all these guys again. ABC is a family where you don't have to figure this shit out on your own. It's somewhere where you can go and not only learn the skills, not only be around the people that have done the thing that you want to do. It's not only a place where you can connect with people that are on the same journey, potentially meet these people, link with these people, grind and build and network with these people. This is the thing that truly changed my life, and that's why I want to provide you guys with the same opportunity that I had. And if you're sitting there right now and you're still watching this video, you're part of the 1% of people that are still watching this video, which shows me your level of commitment to making this work. And that is the type of person that I want inside ABC. Look, you've made it this far, you've got the blueprint, you know what we're about. The next step is on you. But if you want to be personally mentored by me, by my mentor, then here is the deal. If you're serious about building your skills, if you're serious about being around the right people and learning the things you need to learn to live the life that you want to live, if you truly want to become the best version of yourself, there is going to be a link to booking a call below. And I want you to press that link and book in a call. Only do this if you are truly serious about becoming the best version of yourself, about learning the skills that you need to learn to self-actualize that version of yourself that you have in your head. And there's no qualifications. You just need to be willing to take the step, take the leap, and get started. The question is, are you? I'll see you inside.